Do you find yourself exhausted by the end of the day, having checked a bunch of things off your list, but still feeling ineffective and like you wasted your time? Even after hours of work, do you still have huge projects on your list that you haven't even touched yet? I want to share with you the single most influential time management concept that I've ever come across. It's told by a simple story, and it's revolutionized how I look at planning my day. Today I'm going to share the story with you, and then we'll break it apart and discuss how we can apply it to our lives to ensure that you are efficiently planning each day to its biggest potential. We'll discuss organizing your tasks based on a 3-tier priority system, choosing your most important tasks, and how to ensure that you're completing the right things every day. Remember, the goal isn't just to be busy, it's about moving vibrantly toward your biggest life dreams. Hello and welcome to Time Management Tips and Tricks by Vibrance and Bliss. I'm so excited to share today's video with you. This is a story that I came across years and years ago when I was a kid, a teenager really, and it has really influenced how I have looked at time management and looked at how I use my time. It stuck with me through the years, and recently it's something that I heard again, and I knew right off that I really wanted to share it with you guys. So I hope you like it. I've created a visual demonstration so you can kind of see how it works in person, rather than just doing a blog post about it, which I am writing a blog post to go along with it, but I'm such a visual person that I thought that you might enjoy seeing it animated in front of you. So I'm going to go ahead and share this story with you. It's called Rocks, Pebbles, and Sand, and it's an analogy. I love analogies. I learn by analogies completely. They really help me to understand concepts so much better. I teach a lot through analogies, so hopefully that's something that resonates with you. So this is Rocks, Pebbles, and Sand, and it's come from it's a story that has been around for lots of years. It's actually not really known where it came from. Stephen R. Covey has written about it in one of his books, so he's kind of one of the front runners, but he's not necessarily the original author of this story. The author is actually unknown. But Rocks, Pebbles, and Sand. So I want you to think for a minute about a jar. Okay, there's a jar right in front of you, and this jar, I want you to think about your day. Okay, so this is a time management analogy, so I want you to think about this jar representing your day, and all of the things that you need to do throughout the day have to fit into this jar. Okay, you get no bigger of a jar. Okay, you only get the jar that's right in front of you. You can't go trade up, you can't go down. Okay, you have this one empty jar right in front of you. Okay, so this is your day. And so now I want you to think about all the things in your life that you have to do. Okay, all the big things, all the small things, all of the important things, all of the not so important things. Think about all the things on your list that you need to get done or even want to get done throughout the day. Okay, and we're going to divide them up into 3 different categories. The first category I'm going to call super critical things, the things in your life that have to get done. Okay, things that if they don't get done, you're going to have dire consequences for. Things that are also the highest priority for you, the things that are the most important, the things that are going to have the highest impact on your overall life and your overall goals. Okay. All right. So the next category are the somewhat important stuff, and you could probably come up with your own technical term for that. But for me, I'm just going to call it the somewhat important stuff. This is like your mid-range. This is the stuff that's not super critical, but you do kind of need to get it done. Okay, so these are the things that are like mid-level range. This is the stuff that's not super critical, but still things that you want to get done. Okay, so I want you to start thinking about in those terms of separating these tasks on your list according to how important they are and how close they're going to get you to where you want to be in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20, even 1 year. Okay, so will this task get me closer to my goal? Yes or no? Is it something that is important for my daily living? Okay, so if it's not one of those two things, it might not be a super critical task or even a somewhat important task. Okay, so when you start categorizing your tasks based on the importance they hold on either your daily living or in helping you reach a goal, you will start to get some clarity on what the most important things that you need to fit into your schedule are. Okay, so I've kind of listed out some examples of categories, but I don't put too much weight on them. This needs to be your own personal journey. So I really want you to start thinking about how you are going to categorize your life and the things that are on your schedule and the things that are in your life. Okay, so I've listed family, faith, and health as my super critical things, or example of what could be listed as super critical things for you. But if they don't match your life, definitely put in the things that are important to you. Okay, somewhat important stuff, work or school. Again, it is important, but you can always get a new job. Okay, it might be hard, it might be challenging, but you can't get a new body, you can't get a new faith, or you can't get a new family. Okay, so that's kind of the distinction I put on my own organizational structure. But again, do what makes sense to you. Okay, social circles, hanging out with friends, important, but not critical. Community projects, things that you're doing to help out your the community around you, all important things, but maybe they're not quite as important as those super critical categories you've already set. Okay, so I want you to start thinking about the distinction you make between those two. All right, third category is the fun stuff. Okay, the stuff we do because we want to do, the stuff we do because it's easy or because it's a quick win, or things because it's super quick. Okay, optional tasks that aren't going to have dire consequences if you don't get them done, but you could or should get them done, or you'd like to get them done. These are kind of your someday I'd like to's. These are the small little things that if you can fit them in your day, great, but that shouldn't be your highest focus. Okay, so now we've got 3 different categories of tasks, and this is definitely something I would recommend that you do when you set out to make your task list or your projects list. And I want you to start categorizing them based on these 3 types of concepts. Okay, super critical things, somewhat important stuff, or your fun stuff. Okay, so in the original story, they used actual rocks, pebbles, and sand to demonstrate how all these things are going to start fitting into your jar. Now, if you remember, the story was about a jar, and the jar represents your day. Okay, so if you think about your day in terms of a jar, only the certain amount of things will fit into your schedule. Okay, you can't get a bigger jar. So how many of these things can we fit into the jar if it's only so big, and if my objects can't change in size? Okay, so a rock is a rock, and unless you start to break it open with a hammer, it's not going to change its size. Okay, so I think that's why the facilitator used these objects to represent these tasks. Okay, so think about it in terms of actual objects that are filling these jars. I, of course, am using a digital representation of little colored balls. Okay, so I've got pink balls to represent your super critical stuff, or the rocks if you were there in live. I've got green little balls to represent the pebbles, or the little mid-range tasks. And then we've got some little purples that are kind of hard to see, but the little purple balls to represent the grains of sand. Okay, these are your small tasks. Okay, so think about them in size of how big they would look if you saw them in person. Okay, so how many of these things do you think you could fit in this jar? Okay, so I want you to start thinking about that. And this is why it was super important for me to create a video to demonstrate this concept, rather than just writing about it on my blog, which I will do because, I'm definitely a reader myself, so I like to see it in visual terms. But I actually created an animation so you can kind of see how this is all going to fit together, and how when you start to fill your jar, how quickly it starts to fill up. Okay, because that was something that has really revolutionized how I've thought about my schedule. Is I didn't realize how fast your day, aka your jar, fills up by these little balls during the day. Okay, so you start filling up your jar, right? You've got all these tasks, you've got all these things you want to do, you go. But here's the problem. So many of us fill our day with the small stuff first. They're the fun things, the things that give us the most instant gratification. They're the things that we want to do. They're things that are giving us the de-stressing time or the Netflix time or the fun stuff, okay? These are the things that we want to do, so we do them first, right? We get home from work and you're like, oh, I need to de-stress. Oh, I need to, settle down from a hard, long day. I get it. And, there's honestly not anything wrong with that. It's human nature. It makes sense to want to take a bit of time to decompress from a rough day, or perhaps they're the easiest things, or the things that are going to give us a quick win. We all like a quick win, right? Of course we do. But here's the thing. If we are putting in the purple things first, aka the grains of sand, aka the fun stuff, the small stuff, the stuff that doesn't really matter, how much space is left in the jar for the green tasks and the pink tasks? Okay, guys, this is what was so powerful to me. The jar's half full already, okay? How in the world are we going to fit in all of the green tasks and all of the pink tasks? Okay, there's just simply not enough space, right? So let's try to see how many we can fit in. We're getting the green tasks in, we're getting the green tasks in, we're getting the green tasks in, and we got them in, right? That's great. We got the green tasks in, life is good, but oh wait, I forgot about my family. Oh wait, I neglected my health today. Oh wait, my faith is suffering. Okay? We've done all these small things, and we feel like we're winning, and we feel like we're getting all the stuff done that we want to get done because, oh look, I checked 10 things off my list today. But here's the problem, and this is the really sobering part for me. When you start trying to fit in the pink things, guys, it doesn't fit. Okay? They start spilling out all over the table because there's no more space in the jar. And what does the jar represent? Our life. Okay? Or our day. So, this is the power. This is the power of this analogy. This is what has touched and kept with me for so long. Guys, this is why we are stressed out. This is why we are overwhelmed. This is why we are feeling guilty and inefficient and ineffective and like we're not getting all the things done that we want to get done. This is the power of this analogy. Okay, this is what I want you to leave with. Yeah, we've gotten a lot done, but where are the pink things? Where are the things that we've already decided are the most important things to us? They're on the table. They're not in the jar. And only the things in the jar count. So good, we've got a couple of them in there. What about the other kids? What about the other people in your life? What about your husband or your wife or your mother or your health? Okay? All of these other things that we are forgetting about because, oh wait, I have to have time for Netflix. Oh wait, I have to have time to do this small little mundane thing that really doesn't matter to me in the next 20 years. That's the problem in our planning. It's not that we didn't try. It's not that we didn't set a good intention and a good goal and trying to do the right things. It's not that we weren't diligent in trying to get some stuff done. But if you're not getting the right stuff done first, there's no point. There's no progression. There's no moving forward. And there's no winning. Okay. So, are you ready to try this over? Are you ready to do it better? Okay. This is what has changed my, attitude towards time management. Ever since I was a teenager, this has been something that has stuck with me for years. All right. So, we're going to try again. Okay. Empty the jar. Brand new day. You can always start over. No stress if you've been doing it wrong. Like me, I've learned this method and I still do it wrong. So don't worry. Time management is something that's you have to keep looking at and fixing and redoing every single day. So, brand new jar. We're going to try this in a different way. What happens if we do it backwards? Okay, so we're going to start filling the jar, but oh wait, we're putting the pink ones in first, not last. We're not saving them till 11:30 at night and hoping we get them done, but we really won't. We've got them in first. And oh look, all of them fit. Guys, only 2 fit before. This is the power of this method, is that if you can put in your pink rocks first, they will all fit in the jar. Unless you've got 100 pink rocks, then you might need to, prioritize from there. But assuming that you've got a good handle on how many priorities in your life you can fit in, they will get into the jar when you put them in first. Okay? 2 fit before. Using this method, how many are in there? I count 9. 9 big rocks rather than just 2. Okay? And oh look, there's a little bit of space left in the jar. I wonder if we can fit in some of those green rocks. Maybe not all of them, but we can probably fit in some. So let's start putting in those green rocks. We've got some stuff going on. We've, checking off things off our list. We've got all the pink things done now, so now we can focus on the green ones. And oh look how many of the green rocks we've got in. Or pebbles, sorry. How many of those pebbles have we fit into the jar? That's quite a few. Probably all of them that we got in before. But because we have put in the pink things first, which are the biggest of all, these smaller rocks can kind of fit in the nooks and crannies. They can kind of squish in on the sides and the tops and the corners. They can fit in places where the big rocks couldn't because there wasn't any space. Okay? That's what happens when you use this method, is that when you've got the big ones planned into your schedule, and when you put in the big pink rocks that are much harder to adjust, the smaller green rocks can find a place to fit. Okay, and that's how it works in your schedule as well. That's how it works in your day. All right, now our fun stuff. With this method, I'm not telling you can't fit in your fun stuff. You could fit in some Netflix, you could fit in a good book, you could fit in some hobby time. Here's our fun stuff. I wonder how many can fit. How many do you think can fit? Let's count them. Okay, so we start fitting in a couple things here and there, here and there, here and there. Oh wait. How many are we getting in there? Guys, this is the magic of this system, is when you put in your pink rocks first, guess what? Everything else fits. Okay? And again, this is a metaphor, so I don't want you to start thinking that you're going to automatically and magically get everything done on your list, because that's not going to happen probably ever, unless you have a to-do list of 3 things and then I want to live your life. Okay? But metaphorically, the idea is that when you put in your pink rocks first, everything else will either fall into place or it just won't matter. Okay? Because what did you do at the beginning? In the beginning, you decided what mattered most. You decided, hey, look, the pink things, the pink rocks, are my most important tasks. The green tasks are somewhat important, but if I don't get them all done, that's okay. The purple rocks are, I'd like to do a few of them. I'd like to de-stress a little bit and have a little bit of fun. But hey, I don't need to spend as much time doing these things as I need to for my pink rocks or my green pebbles. Okay, so using this method, you will certainly get time for every type of task. Okay, you'll have some fun stuff, some harder stuff, some important stuff, some, medium stuff. When you do it this way, everything will fit in your jar. Versus, if you try to do it the other way, what is spilling out onto the table, guys? Those are your most important tasks. Your health, your family, your faith, the things that are going to bring you toward your goals of where you want to be in 10 years from now. Those are the things that are missing from your day if you put the purple things first. All right, so moral is always, 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 always do the most important things first. Okay? If you do that, they will sure to fit in the jar. If you wait to do them until 11:30 at night, right before you try to go to bed, they're not going to fit. Okay? Don't fill your day up with Netflix. Don't fill your day up with social media. Don't fill up your life with the things that are not going to fulfill you in the long run. Okay? I'm not saying don't do them at all. I'm not saying cut them out completely. I'm not saying that they don't have a place in your life. But I want you to focus on the things in your life that are going to help you to get where you want to be. And what are those things? They're the pink rocks that you've got to put in first. All right, so are you ready for some homework? if you've been following me for very long, you will know I don't like to give you hypothetical information without having a way to apply it for yourself. Okay, so this is your chance. This is your chance to apply it to your life in a way that helps you to understand what your priorities are and what you can focus on first. Okay, so there's a printable. I want you to download it. It doesn't take very long. Okay, you can probably do this in about 10 minutes or less, but I want you to really quickly sketch out what are your rocks, what are your pebbles, what are your grains of sand, what are the most important things in your life, what are the things you could or should do if you had time, and what are the things you like to do, but if you don't have time, it's not going to make or break you to leave them out. Okay, I really want you to spend some time focusing on what are those things in your life, and then what changes you need to make in your scheduling of your day to ensure that your rocks are coming first. Your pink balls are coming first. Okay, what adjustments do you need to make? Because honestly, if it means removing some of those green things out of your life, or some of those purple grains of sand out of your life, maybe that's what needs to happen. As long as you are focusing on your pink rocks and getting those in first, you should have enough time for some or even many of those green and purple rocks. But if you wait to put in the pink rocks until after the jar is already full, aka your day is already full with small, menial, meaningless, unimportant stuff, you simply will not have time to get through the most important tasks of your day.